So great. We are live on YouTube. So Louis, without wasting much further time, let me just make you the host so that you can take us through today's session.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, take it away.
All right. Yeah, thank you so much, Lawrence, for the brief introduction about today's topic. I think we are just going to talk about is Bitcoin dead, or where we're heading. So this is one of the things I think I've been seeing over time. So we're just going to see about the key points on what whether is it really Bitcoin is dying or it's going for another level. So this is what this session is going to be about. So just take your time. If you have a pen and paper, you can also be taking some notes. And if by any chance you want to read more about what you're sharing, you can always reach out to us. We're going to be sharing our Telegram channel whereby we normally have our daily crypto market updates. So let me go ahead and jump in as we get started. It's going to be recorded on YouTube. So if you want to watch this later, you can always come back to our YouTube channel. I think Lawrence can also share the link on the chat for this same recording. So without wasting much time, let me go ahead and share my screen and actually look at the key points of what we're going to talk about today. On whether is it really is a Bitcoin crash really coming, or where are we heading? So before I even go to these points, because I'm going to talk about the 4 points about as you see over there. Number one, what is happening to the value of Bitcoin today and why? And then secondly, as Bitcoin's bubble burst, that's another point I'm going to talk about. And then number three, of course, I'm going to talk about will Bitcoin recover? And then lastly, will Bitcoin go up or down if the stock market crashes? Because there's an interesting correlation between the stock market, that is the Wall Street, and also cryptocurrencies. So we're going to see how that is going to play out. So jumping right in, there's a website called 99bitcoins.com. If you have time, you can check it out there. You can check it out there. It's called 99bitcoins.com. So as of today, Bitcoin has died 430 times. That is since Bitcoin started. So that is one fact that everybody needs to know. Bitcoin has died 430 times to date. The latest one was one. So as you can see over there, the most recent death of Bitcoin was just I think September 21st. Today is 20. What today is it 25th today? The result was the 21st, whereby somebody say Bitcoin is nothing more than a speculative asset. If you see the oldest death happening on 15th December 2010, somebody said why Bitcoin can't be a currency. And you can see over there, these are just interesting facts that people document on Bitcoin's journey. But this was just to give you how people since ever Bitcoin started has been actually been said it's dead, yet it keeps on resurrecting every single time. So let's go right ahead to the points that I'm going to share today. So as you know very well, Bitcoin is a volatile cryptocurrency with a track record of boom and bust, kind of similar to what I've shared. Bitcoin dies today, the next month it is awoken that way. So of course, the digital currency has been on some ride over the course of 2021. That is this year, hitting of course an all-time high in April, before of course plummeting back now to I think was it 28,000 to now we are at 40, I think 42 or 41. So what is really happening to Bitcoin? I think that is the key thing that we need to discuss today. So Bitcoin and those who invested in it, we are actually, myself and Lawrence also, Decrypt as a company, we do invest in Bitcoin. It has been on a roller coaster ride of late, rising and falling sharply on the back of a number of news stories. To summarize, this is the dramatic ups and downs over the past few months. So number one, on 16 December, that is last year, during the COVID time, the price went to what $20,000 per coin for the first time. That was it was revisiting the all-time high that it got in 2017. On the 17th of April, 2021, that is just this year, the value hit a record high of 375,000. In Kenya, that's about, I think, that's about 6.4 million for one. June, it again fell to about under $30,000. That's it was actually 28,000 to be exact, for the first time in 5 months. And then again, August, that is last month, it went back again to about 40, or was it 43? Again on 23rd August, it returned above the 50,000 mark to 52,000 dollars. So that was on the positive side. Let's look now on the negative. So of course, anytime there is a negative news item on in regards to cryptocurrency or the economy, Bitcoin has an effect. That is the kind of correlation that I'm talking about. So if you look at the number of negative stories, of course, we have seen talks about regulations all over the place, from the US to China to Russia to South Africa, even in Kenya. But what really stood out, as you can see over there, in May, that is Elon Musk said that Tesla will no longer be accepting cryptocurrency payments over concerns about the environment. That was one big industry player in terms of fintech, who, when he talks, of course, people tend to respond. So it had an effect. Sanctions from Chinese government in June 2021 on trading and mining Bitcoin. And of course, there was one that happened just this week. That is, I think actually yesterday. The news happened on 15th, but is now coming out. It came out yesterday. So you can see that anytime, of course, the Chinese do talk about banning or giving a negative issue about Bitcoin, of course, there is an effect. But what people don't know, if you look on this particular diagram that I've shared, who is the number 2 top owner of Bitcoin in the world? The number 1 person is who? It's a company called Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and they own about 653,000 Bitcoin as of today. And of course, they keep adding that every day, and you can see as of today, the value is about $26 billion. The number 2 is who? The Chinese government. How many Bitcoins do they own? 194,775 Bitcoins. So these are facts. We're not just talking from hearsay. Number 3 is another private company. Number 4. Number 5 is the US government. Of course, they do own Bitcoin. Of course, these Bitcoins they own through companies or people that have been fraudulent, and then now the Bitcoins are taken off the people, and now of course it belongs to the government. And that's why by default, number 5 is the US, who own about 70,000 Bitcoins as of today. Number 6 is the biggest company. I think you heard about MicroStrategy. That's one company that keeps adding Bitcoin into the balance sheet. Number 7, like that. You can see number 9, that is Tim Draper. That is a person who owns about 31,000. Number 9, I just talked about Elon Musk saying he won't be accepting, that he said he won't be accepting Bitcoin's payment. But number 10 is who? That is the company that he owns. And they publicly own how many Bitcoins? 42,000 Bitcoins. 182.47 as of, I think as of yesterday when I checked this information. So you can see people talk about this side. Yes, they are quietly accumulating. So it tells you that don't listen to what they're telling you, just watch what they're doing. Number 13, as I finish about this diagram, is Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is, of course, the CEO of MicroStrategy, but these are Bitcoins now is owning as an individual, not as a company, as an individual, 17,732 Bitcoins. So you can see, as much as you're hearing all these stories, smart people, smart governments are slowly accumulating Bitcoins. Of course, in the number was number 3. Number 3 reason Negative reasons, of course, UK banks block payments on cryptocurrencies exchange. That happened, I think, 2 months ago. Number 4 reason, again, in terms of negative perspective, Donald Trump described Bitcoin as a scam, competing against the dollar to be a currency of the world in June. That is what Donald Trump tweeted, actually. But of course, he's talking from a standpoint of a traditional point. Number 6 is whereby FBI agents seized billions of dollars in Bitcoin from criminals. That is as of, I think it was on August. Number 7, UK's financial watchdog blacklist Binance, one of the largest crypto exchanges. Big banks such as HSBC and Standard follow suit. So they are just squeezing about how people can freely use these cryptocurrencies. Of course, they want issues of know your customer, KYCs. That's why they are. So this negative news has normally has an effect on cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, and that usually causes a lot of volatility. The second last point, negative points, Imf warnings in August on countries using cryptocurrencies as a legal tender, saying saying its widespread use would threaten macroeconomic stability and would harm financial integrity. That is what IMF was giving warning to countries that are now starting to accept cryptocurrencies. The last one, of course, you may have heard about this. Poly network was hacked, and of course, about 600 million worth of poly tokens were stolen. But of course, they were returned 4 days later by the person who had stolen them. But of course, he said he was doing it for fun, to expose the vulnerability about the system before others did. And of course, it ended up well, because this same person was actually employed by the same the company to be their chief cyber security person because of that. So some positive stories on the same side. Of course, there have been more positive stories, but unfortunately, media keeps on blowing out the negative stories, which at times tends to overlook the positive. So number 1 story you can see over there, electric car maker tells about 1.5 billion in Bitcoin in February. As you can see, they were number 5. Number 5 or number 8 in terms of Bitcoin ownership. Morgan Stanley, one of the biggest, oldest banks in America, became the first bank in the US to offer wealthier clients to access Bitcoin funds, albeit restricted to no more than 2.5% of our investors' total net worth in March. So that's one of the biggest banks offering Bitcoin services to their clients. And what are we doing here? We are saying Bitcoin is bad. So I say, watch what these guys are doing. In number 3, positive news. That is in June, Elon Musk says Tesla will likely to accept Bitcoin payments again when more than 50% of its energy use comes from renewable sources. That is now him now coming up as a solution to the problem that is perceived. Number 4, Amazon posts a job ad for digital currency and blockchain product prompting speculation, and it will soon accept Bitcoin payment. That is, of course, came from Amazon. I think that was back in June. And then the last one, the most recent one, El Salvador made Bitcoin, of course, legal tender as from September 7th. That is now the official as per the law. So we now move to the second part of this discussion. Has Bitcoin's double bust? So of course we know very well that, or maybe if you wouldn't, when assets rise very quickly in price, typically this makes a crash more likely. So it means as the faster something rises, of course the faster again it will come down, and it's a cycle, or at the very least a correction. And when price falls, when the price falls back down to a more normal level. So the situation with Bitcoin right now, although no one can really say what a normal level of Bitcoin is. Remember, we are still at the early innovator stage, the early adoption stage. So to get the normal level is still not very clear. It took the cryptocurrency that is now Bitcoin, the first cryptocurrency, 11 years to launch, from launch to get to 20,000 per coin. 11 years, but only 3 weeks for Bitcoin price to double from there. That is now a recent all-time high of 63,000. A decisive year for Bitcoin was, of course, was back in 2013. So the Bitcoin price 8 years ago, that is in 2013, you can imagine it went from $13.4 at the start of the year to its height in December of course, the same year to $1,156 before falling to around again $760 3 days later. Fast forward to this year, the price has soared more than 700% in 12 months. That is just 2021. So a single Bitcoin had been priced at an all-time high of 63, of course, in April, and now it's just trading at, you can see the level 41 to 43 levels. So where is it heading? Next is equally unpredictable, and no one can actually tell you certainly that Bitcoin price will be this much. And this is one thing that most of us need to be very careful about. We have people coming up and giving very certain predictions, and these are very volatile assets. You can never be on point in terms of where the Bitcoin price will be. We just look at an array of probabilities. So will Bitcoin recover? Maybe that's the question that most of us is having. So there are no guarantees when it comes to investing. As quickly as Bitcoin falls, it can just rapidly climb back again. That is as per what you're saying. So there's a number of concerns about cryptocurrencies. Of course, the number one countries, as you can see, which is actually it's very you can say what it is. It is not. Actually, it's a conflicting idea the way China is being. So you can see over there, China has been banning Bitcoin since 2013. That is a chart over there that I think I got it from Twitter. So 2013, they first say they are banning. You can see how Bitcoin price has been moving in terms of gains despite that. So 2013, 2017, 2018, actually twice in 2018 they banned Bitcoin. 2019 they did ban Bitcoin. Now this year they've now done it twice, and the price is still going up. The other reason is calls for greater regulation across the globe. So there's a serious talk now that is going around that Bitcoin needs some form of clarity, regulation clarity. So that's where we are now. The other reason is environmental concerns. You saw Elon Musk was talking about we need clean Bitcoin or rather Bitcoin mining for renewable energy. And the fact is Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies are the most fuel efficient energy as we speak. What is going on around there is just empty talk, and actually we can provide facts for you to see that Bitcoin actually is the most efficient ways of it's very environmental friendly compared to like gold mining or even the banks, how much energy they consume, which is actually one thing. That's why I put it a 3-star, because it's not what it is. Of course, the last point is that Bitcoin price is based on solely speculation as of now, because everybody tried to speculate on the future prospects of how the price will be. So further regulation is seen as a threat to this relation of cryptocurrency, which is of course impacting on price. So Bitcoin funds point to these positive qualities. Bitcoin funds or Bitcoin proponents have these in mind, and these from a fact point of view. Number one, it is a transformative technology which could revolutionize industries, that is now most of the finance or fintech sector. The other one is simpler and cheaper transaction by cutting out the middleman. That is what these cryptocurrencies actually coming to solve. Number 3 is easier global trade. So these are the points that actually Bitcoin is actually solving in terms of the society. So there's somebody by the name Dan Held, somebody that Lawrence and I really follow. He's been actually in Bitcoin since the last 8 years, and actually he shared a screenshot of somebody who moved, you can see over there. Last week, as I read over there, last week, 1.1 million Bitcoins was moved in a single block. That is about $50 billion was transacted without a trusted third party. So he says Bitcoin never ceases to amaze me. That is downheld. So he was just trying to illustrate how this particular technology, or rather ecosystem, is going to be disruptive. The other point is that transactions are more confidential. As much as you are seeing that particular transaction, you don't know actually who it is. You cannot not really know exactly who it is, but it is trusted because somebody has sent that amount of Bitcoins. So the other reason is it's a safe store of value because it can be printed. It can't be printed or seized, because Bitcoin actually is a ledger, and it stays on your phone as a ledger. So the other last point is that Bitcoin has touted an alternative to gold, meaning it could prove itself as a hedge against inflation. That is now the other point that actually is actually getting more and more focus, because now people are saying that with how the economy is, of course, I think what this year, I think the US did what they have printed more dollars than the last 40 years. I think 20% of these dollars in circulation right now was just printed this year, and the dollar has been there for more than, so is it 400 years? Yeah. So given its volatile nature, it is possible that Bitcoin will gather momentum again at some point in the near future, perhaps weeks, months, or even years down the line. But this is very important. No one has a crystal ball. So it's impossible to say for sure. But of course, that is where it is. In terms of now, will Bitcoin go up if the stock market crashes? Because of course, we've seen a lot of, remember back before COVID started, around March, the US indices saw a very steep decline. Of course, that affected also Bitcoin. So, so it's not necessarily it doesn't mean that if the stock market crashes, Bitcoin will crash. But as I said, you have to look at it aside. So as much as the supporters of Bitcoin see it as a diversified in a balanced portfolio, of course, meaning you have Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, it's no better than stock. Of course, as I said, all were affected at the beginning of COVID-19, but of course, it has bounced back. So this is because when investors panic, they sell everything. It's human nature. So that's why over in the first 2 weeks of March, Bitcoin went down over 40%. But to date, it is up more than 700% over the year. So that basically tells you that all these you can see there how assets perform during stock market falls will depend on why financial markets have collapsed. It's more of why is the market collapsing? Is it because of inflation? And the concept over there, if it were inflationary shock, as we saw in that is back in 1974. I wasn't born back then, and maybe some of us were born then. Most investors would provide believe it provide a protection. That is now Bitcoin. If such a scenario happened in like now the similar in 1974. So I think that does it for me. That was my take for today in terms of what I wanted to share. But please don't forget that people will say all kinds of opinions, text, but at the bottom line, facts is what will count, and that is what matters. And depending on that, you can make an informed position. So thank you very much. Those links that I actually let me know so that I can share with you for your further read and information. So thank you very much. And let me see, there's a small question as before as I send the hosting rights back to Lawrence. Let me see, there's a small question over there. Let me see, just allow me to check it out. Then I send the hosting rights back to Lawrence. See, just a minute. So somebody says, what type of wallet do you recommend? So I think we've had a session about wallets, and I think wallets will depend on what kind of user are you. Are you a trader? Are you just buying for the long term? Are you a developer? So that will define the kind of wallets that you that you want to install. So at the simplest point, you can start with a blockchain wallet. We have Atomic wallet. We have a Mycelium wallet. So those are the three, even Trust wallet. Those are maybe the four wallets you can start with as you get to learn. So, but that will, based on what kind of user you are, then it will determine the kind of wallets you will install. So somebody says, so Paxful, that's a cryptocurrency exchange. So there are pretty many types of exchanges. We call them peer-to-peer exchanges. So there's Binance, that is one of the peer-to-peer exchanges. There is local Bitcoin. There is Paxful. There is I think is it altcoin trader. There are actually a couple of platforms, but you can use those exchanges to buy cryptocurrencies. So if you want more information, you can always reach out to us, so we can show you on how to go about those particular exchanges. So Lawrence, let me pass the hosting rights to you, and I'll be on the chat if there is any question that needs to be answered or more, we offer more clarity. So let me just make you host, and then yeah. So there you go. So thank you very much, and see you.
Okay, great, Louise. That's a great sharing you had today and a very detailed session. I hope everybody has taken count and of the events that have been happening and what has been pushing the volatility in the Bitcoin space. So it's good that you've shared about China. I think even yesterday on Facebook, I shared the same thing about China. China banned Google, they banned WhatsApp, they banned Facebook, they banned Bitcoin now. And every time they ban any new technology that comes, they come up with another type of technology. So basically, China banning Bitcoin doesn't mean that Bitcoin will correct or it will go down. You see, they are second biggest holders of Bitcoin in the whole world. So don't watch what they say, just watch what they do, and then do it better than they are doing it. So basically, let me go to the news without wasting much further ado. Thanks, Luis, for such an amazing presentation. So let me just share my screen so that we can just go ahead and learn about what is happening. I hope you can all see that. Of course, and I'll start with something I came across. And it's a gentleman we all know. He's called Henry Ford. And apparently Henry Ford had 100 years ago, that is in 1921. In 1921, 100 years ago, an American industrial Henry Ford proposed the creation of an energy currency that could form the basis of a new monetary system, offering striking similarities to the peer-to-peer electronic cash system outlined in Satoshi Nakamoto 2008 Bitcoin BTC white paper. I found this really interesting as I was just going through what is happening. And you can see on the news over there, there's a screenshot of the newspaper in 1991. It was December 4th, 1921, where Henry Ford talked of coming up with a currency, that could, of course, replace the monetary system of the world. So if you want to read more on what Henry Ford had envisioned, you can ask for the news. I always say the world is led by people who can envision something that is not in existence. And with that, we go to the now fear and greed index. And I think this is something as analysts, myself and Louis, we always check these to get to know even what projects that we should put our money into. So what drives in a market is fear. And of course, again, we have greed. These are two emotions that if you can control them, you'll be able to reap well. So basically, the fear and greed index suggests Bitcoin price is undervalued. I think I'll start with news about Bitcoin because basically it's the first cryptocurrency. Doesn't make it the best, but of course, it has stood the test of time. So the technical analysis tool is popular amongst crypto traders, hopeful of securing an insight in the crypto market side. So basically, most of the crypto analysts, they use what we call fear and greed index just to check where the price of Bitcoin is heading. And of course, in the last 3 months, of course, the index is showing that Bitcoin has been undervalued. It's undervalued at $42,330. Based on these analyses, it means that Bitcoin price should be higher than that. It should be higher than that. So from there, as people are panicking with Bitcoin correcting from, I think, 48 just last week to around 40,000, as you're panicking, just guess who is putting more money into the space. Institutional investors increased their crypto holdings for the 5th straight week. So as weak hands are offsetting the Bitcoins, who are getting the Bitcoins? It's the institutional investors. These are people who we've trusted with our money for pension, the funds and everything. For them, they know as you're panicking that China has said Bitcoin is illegal and we're gonna crack down the market. For them, they are happy. Sell us the Bitcoins you have, we're gonna keep them for long. So of course, despite the recent sell-off in crypto market, institutional managers have been quietly turning bullish over the past month. So like Louis said, watch what they do. Don't listen to what they say. And I like one saying that says, if you see the crowd running left, please turn to the right and head there. Of course, you'll be among the 1%ers in the world. So this is not a financial advice, but of course, institutional investors, they don't put small monies in the investment. They put a whole lot of money in any investment they go to. So of course, they are happy that Bitcoin is coming down for them to accumulate more. More news on Bitcoin. Bitcoin 5-year return on investment, ROI, outperforms major bank stocks by over 4,000% on average. So basically, somebody who bought Bitcoin 5 years ago and somebody who bought stocks, major bank stocks, they will have had 4,000% ROI better than a person who put their money in stocks. And I think these are call also for investors or people who are thinking of diversifying. I think we are so much used to old way of doing things. And this is the reason as why Decrypt is there, so that we can help you understand the whole crypto space. So that even if you're taking a risk, you take calculated risk where like you diversify part of your portfolio in projects that won't disappoint you. So you can see a person who 5 years ago had the information we are sharing with you today, they have done 40x of their money, 40 times of their money. So if they had 1 million, they have 40 million just by buying and holding Bitcoin. That is a very good return on investment. I don't think there's any investment somebody can tell me that has given better returns than cryptocurrency in the last decade. So from there, let's go to India. And I think India has been having a whole lot of a mixed reaction in cryptocurrency, but currently, of course, the government seems to easing up in terms of regulation and everything. And so in India, crypto trading on peer-to-peer platforms, which Louis has talked about, where you can, of course, buy cryptocurrency, Telegram and WhatsApp dominate in India, meaning with the government easing up on how cryptocurrencies will be treated in India, more people are getting to learn. More people are getting to learn and understand. And of course, with the Indian population, of course, they are leading currently in terms of crypto trading. Let's go to Iran. And Iranian lawmakers oppose crypto restriction. I like that governments are coming up now to support, to come up with supportive regulation instead of regulations that block this technology to grow and also cryptocurrency information to go all out. So Iranian lawmakers oppose crypto restriction meaning that they want to they are calling for supportive regulation. How can we come up with regulation that will help support these growth of cryptocurrency and blockchain as a technology as a whole? So I like the fact that of course, the lawmakers are looking for regulations that will be better to support the growth of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Let's move to Cuba. And in Cuba, cryptocurrency regulation takes effect. And I think the last 2-3 years we've been talking in Bitcoin 101, we've been talking about, I can't wait, where governments are coming up and seeing Bitcoin not as a threat, but as a way they can incorporate it in their own daily affairs and help the economy grow. So of course, crypto is now a legal method of payment for commercial transactions in the island nation of Cuba. That's very good news for cryptocurrency. I like the fact that more governments are coming up and they are looking forward to cryptocurrency regulation and support it. Let's go to the former SEC, Security Exchange Chair Jay Clayton says crypto is here to stay. I think this is one of the best news we can get from these people who've been in power and they have seen cryptocurrency grow. So ex-SEC boss Jay Clayton is cautiously optimistic about the future of cryptocurrency. And I'll urge everybody who is here, as we are coming to a new, almost the fourth quarter of 2021, how well are you diversifying your portfolio to cryptocurrency? Because the time is coming when you'll try to buy some of these cryptos and you'll never get them. I think there's someone who said a time is coming where you won't be able to buy Bitcoin, you'll be paid, you'll be receive it as a payment. And I think I've seen several guys in the sports industry who are saying, I want to be paid in cryptocurrency. So this is not a financial advice, but I think with great information, this is a very good way you can diversify part of your portfolio to cryptocurrency. Let's go to UAE, and UAE stock market regulator approves crypto asset trading. I think this is amazing. This is amazing that a whole lot of countries are looking forward to allowing easy transaction of cryptocurrency and also trading. So UAE, they have approved crypto asset trading, so you can trade there in cryptos like asset. Let's go to another news, and then let's look at PayPal. We all know PayPal, and PayPal introduces customer to the next digital payments era with the new PayPal app. And I think I was telling Louis, I saw the PayPal app. I was just doing some research on it, and it will help you to buy and also store your cryptos there. So PayPal introduces new features and services, adding access to high yield savings. But we were just laughing with Louis because the return on investment is just interesting. So in an app shopping tools, deals and rewards, up to 2 days earlier access, direct deposit and bill pay. This is what PayPal they are adding on their app. So you're able to trade, buy, sell, and also you can save your cryptos there for some high yield savings. So all-in-one personalized app provides PayPal customers with a single destination to easily and securely manage their daily financial lives and do more with their money. But I'll say something in regards to you storing your cryptos in a third-party wallet. There's something which all crypto heads know: not your private keys, not your bitcoins. Not your private keys, not your bitcoins. So if you're storing your cryptos in a third-party wallet, those are not your cryptos. You don't have the private key. You cannot say those are your cryptos. And that's the reason that's why we also tell people, don't store most of your cryptocurrencies in exchanges. Because centralized exchanges can fall, they can disappear, they can happen to do anything. So whoever had asked about wallets, these are some of the things you check. How safe, how secure is the place that I'm storing my asset? And these are some of the things we can advise you well on. Where do I buy and store my cryptocurrency? Because you don't want to store your cryptocurrency in an app that one day you'll wake up, it's no longer in existence, or maybe an exchange can be hacked. These are some of the security measures we teach in Decrypt Edge. So moving on forward from PayPal, this is one of the gentlemen we follow a lot. It's called Samant But here, and just to mention, in 2013, this gentleman owned 5% of all circulating Bitcoins in 2013. So he's one of the crypto Bitcoin billionaire. He has never sold any. It's also good to note that. He's one of the gentlemen we follow a lot. He's an amazing gentleman. I think he's 44 years old and he's already a billionaire. He has very good insights in terms of investing and stuff. So Bitcoin billionaire Chairman says crypto destroyed capitalism and that's better for the world. So if you follow him, he has a whole lot of insights, and I think he wants to stand for, I think, governor for California, if I'm not wrong. He showed interest in going to politics. So of course he's saying Bitcoin or cryptocurrency will destroy capitalism. So from there, let's go to MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor. He's number 11, I think, in terms of people who are holding a whole lot of cryptocurrency. I think Louis shared with us that. He's a gentleman who owns, or he's the CEO of MicroStrategy. Also good to note that in 2013, also Michael Saylor was against Bitcoin, and he called Bitcoin, he compared Bitcoin with gambling. So, and then right now, he's the biggest whale we know in the crypto space. So he says what? Bitcoin is the only institutional grade asset in the crypto space, says MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor. So anytime there's a Bitcoin correction down, he's one of the people who puts a lot of money to buy the dips, And the beautiful thing about this kind of investor is that they're not looking at short-term gains, because of course this is an asset. You don't put your $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 and expect to be a millionaire 6 months or 1 year. It's good to have a long-term view in terms of how much you want to accumulate. But it's also good to note that there are people, we have different investors. There are people who are looking for 10% increase of their money, which is good. But there are people who are looking at, I want to do like now, Bitcoin has done over 40x since the last 5 years. There are people who are looking at 100x. There are people who are looking at 20x. So in terms of also investing, it's good you also ask yourself, what is my exit point? Am I looking for 10%? Am I looking for 1x? Am I looking for 20x? So that will help you also have a long-term or a short-term investment strategy. So moving on to some other news. It's good to note that more companies are accepting Bitcoin as a payment or as a medium of exchange. Biggest theme park resort in Southern Europe to start accepting Bitcoin, and I think this will grow. I like comparing these with M-Pesa when it started back in 2008 in Kenya. Not everybody wanted to accept M-Pesa, but today most of the shops, they are not taking cash. So also, we are in the early stages of cryptocurrency adoption, and not everybody wants to accept Bitcoin today. But with time to come, or any other cryptocurrency, think of 5 years from now, think of 10 years from now, a whole lot of places you'll go and you'll see Bitcoins accepted here. Beautiful thing about cryptocurrency, there are no borders. So whether you're in Kenya, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in Europe, whether you're in Asia, you can go there and you can access your cryptocurrency and you're able to trade with ease. From there, let's go to some other news. And of course, there's a reason as to why I've shared about Ripple. Ripple, I think, is the third biggest asset in the whole world. And Ripple one of the use cases of Ripple was to help us do away with the SWIFT banking kind of system for intercountry transactions. And of course, there's been a whole lot of regulatory issues with a security exchange about Ripple being a security, or is it an asset and stuff. But why I shared these, Ripple keeps thriving outside the US, is to show you that most of these cryptocurrencies are borderless. It doesn't matter whether Bitcoin bans China bans Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Let them ban it in their own country. Other countries will still be using it because it's borderless. You can use it anywhere. This is the reason as to why I shared Ripple's news, that it doesn't matter whether the government says Bitcoin is illegal in your own country or where the country you are at. You are at liberty to use that cryptocurrency in another country. And this is one of the major reasons why crypto came. It's borderless. You can use it anywhere with ease. you can access your funds with ease. To my final news, it's from Africa, and it's good to note that 47% of South Africans own Bitcoin, BTC, which is to a total holding of $70 million worth in average. So it's good to know that South Africans are way ahead, with 47% of them owning Bitcoin. I don't know how many people in Kenya own Bitcoin, or in Africa at large, but all I know is that I think Nigeria is leading, Kenya is second, and then South Africa is number 3 in terms of also trading. We keep on exchanging. Sometimes Kenya will be number 1, sometimes South Africa will be number 1. So that ends my sharing for today. I didn't want to share more on the news, but in case you have any question, of course, you can drop it. I'm sure, Lou, you've been taking care of any question that has been there. That ends our session today. In case you have, Louis, thanks for this. I can see you've been answering all the questions that are there. In case any person have a suggestion of any topic you want us to cover, you can just contact us, ask any question. I can see Valerie is asking when the cold wallets will be available. I think October we should be having cold wallets in our office, so that you can check with us. In October we should be having the cold wallets in our office. So with that, I think we're done for the day. Like I always say, Val is asking, Louise, you can see that question. Of course, can you expand more on futures Binance? I think we can share more on that. Thanks, Anthony, for saying awesome presentation. And of course, we urge each and every person who comes over here, always share this link with any person who would wish for them to learn. Crypto space is huge. Crypto space is big, and there's a masterclass that we'll be hosting from October, which will urge any person who would love to go deeper and deeper in the crypto space to join our masterclass from October, mid-October. And of course, part of what Val is asking, it's part of what is covered, because that's part of trading. That's part of what we teach when it comes to trading. How do you trade features? How do you trade cryptocurrency or any other asset? So with that, I just want to wish you a blessed weekend. God bless your businesses. God bless your families. God bless anything and everything you intend to do. Louise, any parting shot? Just 1 second, Louise. Let me just.
Oh, I think for me, it's just to encourage us to always keep learning. We need to stay, always be a student. That's the best way to learn. Because the moment you think you know, that's actually the end of you. So I think it was a great session. Always you can follow up with us for any of the questions that you've asked in the chat. I think I did post the Telegram channel also. Because that's where we'll actually get us for like detailed feedback. So yeah, thank you very much, and blessed weekend ahead.
So thank you everybody for joining us. Remember, we are always here at every Saturday at 10. We are here just to share what you've learned for free every Saturday, to allow you also to ask any questions. And remember, don't follow hype. Always question everything. Do your own research. I usually say in the crypto space, don't believe everything you're told. At least learn. Like Louis has said, don't be a follower, be a student. Don't be a follower, be a student. Ask questions. And of course, we wish each and everyone, of course, success in the crypto space. Let's think 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. if you look back and if we all knew, or if all of us had the info we have today, 10 years ago, when Bitcoin was less than $1, when Bitcoin was $1, that's 100 bob. If we had the info we have, it's the same opportunity we have, because crypto space, and I think we shared this last week, Louise. If you think of the crypto space, currently we are at $1.9 trillion, I think around $2 trillion. If you think of stock, which has been here for ages, stock is standing, I think, at 125 trillion dollars. No, in fact, stocks is standing at $95 trillion. And then we have bonds, government bonds, standing at $128 trillion. And I was having this conversation with another friend of mine, and I was asking them, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we are at $2 trillion. What if crypto shifts to only 20 trillion or even 50 trillion? Where do you think the people who have the info will be? Go ahead, Louise. Just a minute, Louise. Let me just, okay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
I think Valerio was asking, you talked about, is it the stock market is at what, 98 trillion dollars, yeah?
$95 trillion.
$95 trillion.
Global, yeah.
So, and then this bond market?
Bond market we are standing at $128 trillion.
I think Valerio was asking, what about the Nairobi Stock Exchange? I think I think we are at what? I think it's about 300. Is it three? I think it's what? It's actually a very low figure. I'm just trying to get the figure so at least we get the value. Yeah, it's actually 3 trillion. That is the value of Nairobi Stock Exchange. 3 trillion. That is like
in Kenya shillings. That is. In dollars or Kenya shillings?
Not more than $3 trillion.
In dollars?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the value of the NSE. So you can see, if you compare with what the figures we've given, we actually at is it maybe even 1%.
It's not even 1%.
Yeah. So yeah, it's less than that. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Val is asking, I meant he was talking about Kenyan stock bonds or other country. It's global. I'm talking about global because crypto is global. We are at 2 trillion. So globally, stocks, we are at $95 trillion. And then bonds, we are at $128 trillion. So Kenya, of course, Louis has told us we are standing in stocks. We are standing at $3 trillion. So it's good to note. And also this can help you now envision, see the bigger picture. See the bigger picture of what if.
Actually, Lauren,
yes,
sorry, it's actually 2.7 trillion Kenya shillings. That figure was a bit off.
Yes, because I was thinking, is it dollars or Kenya shillings?
It's 2.7 Kenya shillings, 2.7 trillion.
Trillion, that's around 200 and that is around 27 billion?
Yeah.
$27 billion?
Yeah.
Around?
Yeah.
Great. So it's great to have all of you. It's good we are learning. Somebody is asking Kenya's GDP. What is the Kenya GDP? I think we can Google that also.
Yeah, I'll do it quickly.
And these are some of the things we should encourage. Even when you come over here, let's not just stick to cryptocurrency. Let's also discuss other markets. Let's get to, like I always ask people, do we understand the rate of inflation of either the dollar or Kenya shillings? And a whole lot of meetings I go, people don't have no idea. How much value do we lose in terms of holding Kenya shillings? A lot of people have no idea. So go ahead, Louis, you've got it?
Yeah, I think as of 2019, it's at 95 billion. 2019, 95 billion dollars. Sorry,
$95
billion dollars. Yeah.
So that's around 9.5 trillion Kenya shillings.
Yeah. So you can see it's it's like 10 times the stock market, the NSE. Yeah.
True. So I think with that, we can call it a day. I wish you all the best. God bless you. God bless your families. God bless your businesses. Let's meet again next week on Saturday. In case you have any question, reach out to us. We'll gladly share with you. Have a great weekend.